Okay, everyone, hello and welcome. My name is Amy Royer, and I am the project coordinator of the Montana Rural Health Initiative. The mission of RHI is to engage partners to share ideas and expertise and to support communities in improving health while stimulating a higher level of wellness across the state. Thank you all for joining us today for our webinar, School Wellness Policy, presented by Katie Bark. Katie Bark is a licensed registered dietitian and the project director of the Montana Team Nutrition located here at Montana State University. I'll just go over a few technical details before we begin. All of your lines are muted. If you would like to ask a question, you can use the chat box on the right, and we'll be trying to look at those and answer them throughout the presentation. Please type into the chat box if you're having any problems hearing us at all. Also, at the end of the presentation, we will have a question and answer session where you can be unmuted and ask questions directly to Katie or I. And then at the end of the presentation, we will also have a short survey that I'll ask you to fill out. I think it's only 8 questions, should only take about 30 seconds for you to complete. And then I guess thank you again for joining us all, and I will roll the ball over to Katie and she can begin the presentation. Just one moment while I switch presenters.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Amy, I have to be unmuted. Hi, everyone. This is Katie Bark with Montana Team Nutrition. I'm very happy to be here today with you and appreciate you taking the time to learn about the School Wellness Policy Assessment Report that we've developed. I want to just point out one handout that Amy actually posted. It should be at the top, it says Sample Montana School Wellness Policy Report. And it is actually a sample report that's generated from this survey that we're going to talk about today. So I want to make sure that you're able to download it. You can either download it now or after the presentation because it will really help you see the full report and see what kind of information you can get from it. Okay, so I'm going to now share my screen and we'll get started. Let's see now. Here we go. Okay, so as Amy said, I'm with Montana Team Nutrition here at MSU in Bozeman, and I do want to thank Rural Health Initiative for partnering with us on this webinar. It's always nice to be able to reach a bigger audience than sometimes our networks do, so we appreciate that. So what we wanted to do is to see who is actually on our webinar today. So would you mind, Amy, doing the first poll, and you just want to put your position? I guess hopefully these 5 choices describe who's on. You can do that. And have you released it, Amy? Okay. Okay, so it looks like we have 1 food service director, 1 educator, 2 students, 3 community parents, and then 8 that don't have probably our other I should have put. So thank you for doing that poll. Okay, now do we need to close that before I can go on? Okay, there we go. Okay, so as many of you probably already know, the school wellness policy is regulated and put out by the USDA for schools. And it really is the foundation to helping create a healthy school environment that fuels smart students. And so as you may have also heard, it has just been finalized, the final rule. This webinar is not going to be going over the details of the revision. It's really but I just wanted to start with that, announcement because, as you know, the school wellness policy not only gives students choices to make healthy food and beverage choices, but also physical activity opportunities. It really encourages school staff to be healthy role models, which is such a powerful teaching tool. and it reinforces what parents want for their children to develop healthy behaviors. If you want more information on the school wellness policy, I just listed a few really helpful websites. There's going to be additional webinars on like the updated wellness policy throughout this school year. But if you want information now, you can go to USDA's website or our Montana Office of Public Instruction school wellness website. And then Action for Healthy Kids has awesome resources under their tools for schools. They have a 7-step process that you can go through in revising the policy, and they just completed a webinar, which should be archived on their website, on the school wellness policy revision. So that's information on the school wellness policy. So what we hope to do today in the next 30 minutes is really go over the purpose and how to really utilize our new Montana School Wellness Policy District report. We're really excited about this report because we feel like it will be a really good tool for school wellness policy committees or schools to actually show all the steps and that a school district may be doing to implement the wellness policy. So that's our goal today in the next 30 minutes. So this report is basically found on our website at this web address. It's the OPI School Wellness website. And under Montana Made Tools, it's the first thing you come to. And the red arrow, it shows we have a district level report, which is what we're going to go over today. And then we did develop a school level report in case an individual school within a district wanted to also utilize it. So you can click on it by going right to this website. What I hope to do today is actually go over and show you the parts of the report, but again, that file that you're able to download shows a sample report, which really gives you the everything the report has. So what is this report and why would you even want to use it? It basically can be used as either a baseline report if you're just getting your wellness committee maybe up and going again, or you could use it as a yearly progress report, or what some schools may choose to use is as a triennial report, which just means every 3 years when your school district is reviewed by the Office of Public Instruction through their administrative review at their school nutrition program. That is when the wellness policy is looked at, and you could utilize this report in that time frame to actually document and show in the review how you're implementing school wellness. It can be made into a PDF file very easily, so you could share it with a school board at a school board meeting or parent association meeting. It can be posted on your website, or the link of the PDF file could be included in a school newsletter to let your community and parents know. So it has a lot of uses, and I think the other use that many schools have said that they like it, that you'll see under the goal areas, it lists the objectives. Well, those objectives are best practices for implementing a school wellness policy. So you'll be able to get some new ideas if you're looking for them on how to implement school wellness in a comprehensive way. Some just tips for completing it. This survey is done in the Key Survey computer program, and if you've ever used Key Survey, you know that you should use always the same computer when you're completing it. So you really should designate one person in your wellness committee to complete it and always use that computer. We recommend that you go through the entire survey, and that's the reason why we gave you a PDF of it, of a report, which basically lists every question. And get the information, gather it from your key stakeholders before you go and complete it. It'll just make it easier for you. Then once you start entering the data on the survey, you just always want to press Save. There's a Save button at the end of each screen, and you want to obviously press the Save button when you exit every time if you fill out part of it and go back to it. And then we'll go over how you can make a PDF file of it. And then if you choose to press the Submit button will go to myself and here at Montana Team Nutrition, and we can share it with the Office of Public Instruction. So if your school was being reviewed, it could be sent to the Office of Public Instruction for your administrative review. Okay, what is in the report? It basically goes over the key elements of a strong wellness policy plan, which includes how you're going to communicate and report on it. Really, how are you going to get stakeholder input, which is the school wellness or health committee, which is recommended. And then the real meat of it, or I'd say the core, is how you assess your district, how it's meeting the 5 key areas of school wellness, which are listed on this screen: nutrition standards for all foods and beverages, nutrition education, nutrition promotion, physical activity, and school wellness. School wellness are really a variety of things that helps create a healthy school environment. And then the final thing is that it helps you develop, it lets you document your action and evaluation plan for meeting possibly one yearly objective under one of those goal areas. That's what it has, so it's pretty comprehensive. So this is where, I'm not sure how well you see this screen, but this is the first basically screen you see on the survey because it's basically making it school district specific. You would select the school year, and that's where you could do this report once a year to, again, show how you're progressing. You put down the information, who completes it, and then you select in a drop-down, and I can't really show you in the screen how all the counties and the school districts are listed. Now, if you're a school district that has more than one district within it, maybe an elementary and then a high school district, you could make the report for both districts by selecting both districts in this report, or you can do it separately. It's up to you. Okay, the second thing that it looks at is, again, how you're really getting stakeholder input through a school health or wellness committee. And it lists several different positions, and you can put the people's names in it. The ones that are asterisked are the recommended members, but you, again, can have more or less depending. But the recommended members are school administrator, school food service, health enhancement teacher, a health professional like a school nurse, one parent, and a community representative. But again, you can have other people if you'd like. It also lists the chairperson, and you should put how often the committee meets during the school year. Now, this is where, the next section is really the core of it, and this is where you get to really assess each of the 5 areas listed, again, on this screen. And they cover nutrition guidelines, nutrition education, nutrition promotion, physical activity, and overall school wellness. And like I said, when we go through, we're going to go through the nutrition guidelines for all foods. When you see the goal of what you're trying to do with nutrition guidelines for all foods, then each statement is basically an objective, and you're going to answer the question to the objective if you've met it or not. And again, they are best practices, so you could utilize them for ideas on what you might want to work on in the school year. Okay, so this is the instructions, again, showing that you're going to go through each of the 5 school wellness areas. We're just going to show nutrition guidelines because we because we don't have that much time to go through all of them in this webinar. But you basically rate each objective under nutrition guidelines with 1 being you've met it, 2 not met, 3 in progress, or 4 not applicable. And that's where, when you think about, there's no right or wrong answers here. You can be honest on where you are, but obviously the things you're going to maybe want to work on are the number 2 and number 3, because those are things that you're either not meeting or you're in progress. Those would be something you might work on in the school year. Okay, so again, another tip for easy completion of the survey is going to the appropriate staff member with maybe the questions of, like if we were looking at nutrition guidelines for all foods in schools, I would definitely want to go to the food service director to find out what's going on in the lunchroom, in the cafeteria for breakfast and lunch, but then also maybe talk to a principal or the wellness committee coordinator for what are some other policies or procedures the schools follow in dealing with foods outside the cafeteria. So that's why, again, you want to make sure you maybe download the handout so you can see all the questions for the 5 the goal areas and the objective statements. Okay, so let's look at the one, nutrition guidelines for all foods sold or available to schools. What we did is we listed a goal. Now this is a pretty general goal under each of the sections. If you don't want to use this report and come up with your own goal, that's totally fine, but we tried to just give one that is helping basically what a school wants to do in offering healthy foods to students in their schools. They're just trying to, the district will influence the development of healthful, lifelong eating behaviors in students by making the healthy choice the easy choice. And it will achieve that by just ensuring that nutrient-rich foods and beverages that are consistent with the dietary guidelines for Americans and Choose My Plate are readily accessible on school campus. And so that is the overall goal. And then if you see, we only see 1 through 6 on this screen. In this section, there's 11 questions that are asked, but you go through each one and you answer whether you've met it, not met it, in progress, or not applicable. So if we go through one, the first one is, the school nutrition manager is a certified food handler as documented by ServSafe training, which is the national food safety and sanitation training. So hopefully you would check met on that, because that's something that most food service directors are. They have to, I know I just took my ServSafe training yesterday. We have to take it every 5 years. But the second question is, the school nutrition program staff regularly receive professional development through attending annual statewide or regional conferences. They attended the conference this year, you could again say met. Let's say we look at number 5. The district is procuring local or regionally grown foods in their school meal programs. That might be in progress, because again, it might be a balance, but that's where if you feel like you could work a little harder on that this year, and that's going to want something, you might consider that as one of your action steps when we get to that later on. But you might just put in progress. If your school is striving to meet the criteria of the USDA Healthier US School Smarter Lunchroom Challenge Award Program, if you're trying to go for that, that might be something that's in progress. Or some schools, we know over 100 schools in our state have achieved that. They might have already met it. So again, you just check each one as you go. If you are actually going through the survey just to learn what's in it, this is where you have to select something that you don't have to save it if you're just going through it to read it, but you do always need to select something, answer all questions in a section before you go on. I just want to reiterate that, because that's how the key survey works. You have to answer the questions before you keep going on. Okay, so after you've done that for the nutrition guidelines, you would do that you'd go to each of the sections for the 4 additional goal areas, which are, again, nutrition education, nutrition promotion, physical activity, and overall school wellness. And you basically answer the statements, the objectives, listing either you met it, number 1, 2, not met, 3, in progress, or 4, not applicable. So this is where, if you were looking at the handout where it says nutrition education, it has an overall goal that is, again, trying to influence the development of helpful lifelong eating behaviors in students through nutrition education and nutrition promotion. And it actually goes over that the STAR, the best practice for trying to have it. Nutrition Ed is part of a sequential, comprehensive, standard-based program designed to provide students with the knowledge and skills necessary to adapt health-enhancing behaviors. And so the first question is asking, are you meeting those recommendations that it is K through 12? In a lot of schools, it may be in progress. So again, you would select 3 for that. So after you've gone through all the different goal areas, then you could meet with your school wellness committee and discuss which goal area you really would like to work on in this school year. And once you've done that, maybe identifying which objectives you want to work on would be things that you answered either with a 2, not met, or a 3, in progress. So what we'll do, the last section, really the last part of the survey is right now, is writing an action plan, an evaluation plan, a short timeline, and persons responsible, any additional information in this section of the report. The first thing you do is in the drop-down, you select the area. And again, this is where on the sample report that we gave you, if you look on page 6, it's the second to last page of the report, it shows an example for nutrition guidelines. If a school is going to be working on nutrition guidelines and the objective that they want to work on is really trying to work on student rewards this year. And this is where you can choose whether you want to try to have student rewards, if they're going to be foods that are healthful, nutrient-rich, or if you'd rather say that we're going to try to get away from food rewards and use non-food rewards. So this is, again, where you can choose what you'd like to do depending on where your school and staff, faculty are at. So then you would write an action plan, an evaluation plan, and a timeline, and the person's responsible for meeting this objective. And in the sample report we gave you, we basically listed some action plan steps as far as writing up the procedure and putting it in the employee handbook and also the school parent handbook, and also posting it on the website. Another action step would be that there'd be training at a faculty meeting in the fall, and with ideas on non-food rewards, maybe some helpful food rewards, food snacks if they were going to do that, and then also handouts or ideas for the teachers to utilize. And then the parent member and possibly another member of your wellness committee, this school would also communicate it to parents at a parent meeting, so the parents are on board. And then there would be some financial support, possibly donated either from the parent association or a business partner to provide some maybe incentives that could be student rewards that the teachers could use in the first year. Some schools have gone with what's called a Tower Treasure program. Other schools use stickers. So, but something to get the teachers sort of on the right track with using, giving them something to use possibly instead of food. And then the evaluation plan would be teachers would be asked to self-monitor each other and themselves, and the principal would also be in charge of monitoring it, looking at what barriers are, and then maybe having a follow-up discussion of it at a spring faculty meeting to actually see what kind of retraining needs and any kind of support to the teachers. And then the timeline would list, obviously, when the meetings would occur, who's going to be in charge of it, and when it would be done. So you could develop a simple action plan for one objective. If a school wants to do more than one, they can. You can always do more, but we thought, we know that school wellness is one of many priorities in school districts, and sometimes it's just good to work on one thing. Okay, the last part of the report is actually where you can actually see it, review it, and print it. Print a copy if you like. And this is where, this is the last screen. And again, you always want to press, just showing you the save button. And if you hit that please review and print your report, you come to this screen and it will show you the report. And that's what is the handout that we gave you. But do you see in the middle where it says convert to PDF? That's where you could actually convert this report to a PDF and save it on your computer and take it from there. Even if you convert it once, like now, if you did it and you converted it, you can, if you press save, when you go back to and you're pretty much done and you press save, you can always come back to it and redo it and then print the PDF again, convert it to a PDF again. It's not like you can't do it more than once. So that is sort of the report in a nutshell. Just to review a key things, always remember to press the save button as you work through it. Again, make a PDF file if you'd like to, because that way you could actually bring it to a wellness committee, go over it, see if there's things that need to be, again, revised or added. Maybe you didn't have all the information at once. Go back to it, add more, press the save button. If you want to share it and press the submit button and have the Office of Public Instruction have a copy, you want to press submit. If you don't press submit, then you can just utilize it at your own use, but if you are getting reviewed and you know you're going to want to show them what you're doing when they're getting reviewed every 3 years by the Office of Public Instruction School Nutrition Program staff, you could press submit and we can get them a copy. And then once you have this report, we encourage you obviously to share it with your stakeholders. We are so impressed with so many of the steps that schools are taking to really help create healthy school environments that we would love to have more of the community and stakeholders know about the awesome steps that schools are doing to, again, teach kids about food through farm-to-school programs, through healthy snack programs, through different contests that they're doing, and like now Farm to School Month is coming up in October. A lot of schools are going to be participating in the Montana Crunch Time activity on October 24th. So again, there's a lot to share, and that's where we feel like this report will be helpful for you in really documenting what you're doing to implement your school wellness policy. Okay, I know we only have a few minutes, and if people have to get off, please contact me at my email listed here if you need information from me, additional information if I can help. But are there any questions? Okay, well, in progress might be you actually are working on it. You know, not met would be if it's not even on your radar. So that's where I think, like if you look at how schools are implementing farm to school, they may be just looking at it in the lunchroom, you know, trying to buy some locally grown or regional products, but they haven't looked at how to teach kids gardening in the classroom. So that's what I would consider in progress. Where if another school wasn't even trying to do anything with farm to school, that's when I would consider it not met. I hope that answers your question. It's really up to you. It's more of an objective, I guess, or subjective way to answer it, but I think it's what your wellness committee, your stakeholders feel if you're in progress or if you're not even, it's not even on your radar. So, well, I thank you for your attention today, and I guess we did want to just ask 2 questions, if you don't mind answering these 2 simple questions. Amy, do I stop sharing my screen, or?
Here. Oh, no, not a problem. I can just open the poll, so. Okay. I'll share in just a moment. Are you able to see those?
Oh, yes. Good. Okay. About half the people agree, half the people are unsure. Okay, great. So there's one more question.
will close in 10 seconds, and then I'll share answers with everyone.
Okay, great. So 6 people agree, 3 people are unsure, and 4 people did not answer. Okay, well, I guess I just want to thank you again for being on today, and we are going to be doing some school wellness webinars, and we're working with the School Boards Association on helping, they're going to be revising the state policy with the new revisions from the final rule, and we will be doing those webinars and when that policy is up and ready. So look for more information and announcements on school wellness webinars during the school year. But in the meantime, if you have questions or have anything you want to talk to me about school wellness, please feel free to contact me. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone for joining. Be sure to fill out the survey at the end. Have a good afternoon.